Joe Scarborough did a number on Congressman Michael Lawler this morning on Morning Joe. And I don't think Lawler realized what was happening. In effect, Joe creating kind of a civil war between blue state Republicans and red state Republicans. And he did it in an ingenious way. And I know a lot of people won't immediately see it. But there's this stuff called assault taxes, state and local taxes, that got sort of limited when Donald Trump gave his, I think it was when he gave his last tax cuts, and it really screwed blue states, because blue states collect a lot more in taxes from its citizen than red states, and Joe Scarborough went ahead and why should red states subsidize blue states for having high taxes and let you guys pay less income taxes on your money because of the salt deduction being reduced? Let me first explain something. Normally, you pay taxes on income that you can actually realize. Now, when a state charges you taxes, that is income not realized by you. So if you make X amount of money and you pay 25% of that in state taxes, that's not income to you. So why should you pay federal income tax on that? Well, as it turns out right now, that points out that the way Donald Trump screwed blue states is that he says, okay, if you decide to have high taxes in your state, we're not going to count that towards your income tax. And therefore, hey, c'est la vie, you can't write it off. But here is the kicker. Joe Scarborough tried to make it look like, no, we don't. The red states shouldn't be subsidizing you blue states who have high taxes. And Lawler started to, go along with him till he kind of got mad because Joe Scarborough, in effect, was calling his state by wanting salt that somehow these red states are subsidizing. And I finally said, don't you know that we give more, us blue states give more to the federal government than the red state do. And I spoke to the senator from South Carolina about that because, South Carolina is another bigger state. And then then Joe Scarborough came in about the red states versus blue states and who really are the states that are demanding. And Lawler ended up just saying what everybody needed to know. Yes, red states, in effect, because of their policies, are bigger states, and they depend on the blue states who have better policies to support it. He didn't quite say it, but that's the end of it. I want you to listen to it, and then we'll take it on the other side.
As a conservative, I'm talking about myself, a fiscal conservative, it seems to me a SALT fix rewards state governments that spend too much money recklessly. I mean, if your tax rates are so high because you spend so much, why should everybody else in America? Why should everybody else in America bail out New York, Illinois, and California?
I was just going to ask, are you suggesting that New York, with its proposed $260 billion budget, spends recklessly?
It's always spent recklessly. Illinois has, California has. So
of course, why should the rest of
America carry that bill with some salt fix?
With all due respect, you're not. I mean, the fact is, it's a form of double taxation, which, as a fiscal conservative, I don't think anybody really would want to support. You are being taxed on your state and local taxes, and now the federal government wants to tax you on top of that. But New York is a donor state. New York sends more money down to Washington than it gets back. States like South Carolina, for instance, I've heard my Republican colleague from the Senate, Lindsey Graham, make the same point you're making. South Carolina gets more money back from the federal government than it sends in tax revenue. So are we subsidizing South Carolina? I mean,
yes,
that argument falls flat to me, frankly, because the fact is you can look at any state and any issue that each state has, and you can say that they're being subsidized by the federal government. This is an issue of fairness. It's an issue of double taxation.
Isn't that the case that most blue states end up subsidizing red states, which supposedly hate government? But isn't it usually the case that red states on average take more from the federal government than blue states?
I think that's very true in a lot of cases. If you look at the amount of money that goes to states across the country, a lot of the top states in terms of recipients of federal dollars are red states.
So, yeah, all those big mouth red state senators and Congress people, when they start taking care of their people like blue states do in the aggregate, when they start paying into the federal government like blue states do, instead of just taking and sucking on the you know what of blue states by taking more out, then they can talk about how good their policies are. But if we looked at policies, if we looked at state for state, who's sicker, who is less educated, who takes more on the dole, all of that turns out that red states are sicker, red states are not that educated, red states take more from the dole, red states have more pollution, etc., 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 etc. Whose policies are better again? We have to stop living in the false reality that too many Republicans put you in, and start letting it be known whose policies really worked. After all, remember, the economy always does better under Democratic presidents versus Republican president, and that has been true for decades and decades and decades. But if you hear them talk, you would think that they know something that others don't. Even again, as the economy prospers under Democrats, the economy generally has to be repaired after Republicans have done destroying it, just like Trump is doing his modus operandi. He destroyed it with his actions towards COVID in his first administration, and he's destroying it at the beginning of his administration right now. Folks, it's time that we learn. He destroyed the economy once before, both with his ridiculous tax cuts and huge deficits and his handling of COVID, and now he's doing it with tariffs and quite a bit more. Wake up, America.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.